Okay, let's hop into Overwatch, but real quick, let me try to skim through the patch notes here. Um, we got some pretty good changes here. At least I feel like they're going to be good. Maybe I can even put them on stream real quick. There we go. Um, so I guess we can go through this together. So general updates, we got a new game mode, the Hero Mastery Gauntlet. So this is going to be like a tower defense co-op game. Should be pretty fun for some, probably not meant for everybody. Just really quick, let's read the points here. Gauntlet teams can have up to 3 players and must survive all 10 rounds to win. Each game randomizes the upgrades, bots, and targeted towers to keep things fresh. The Gauntlet has 4 difficulties that vary all aspects of gameplay, including score. Work your way up to legendary and dominate the leaderboards. So apparently there's leaderboards in this. Interesting. Athena has upgraded the simulation with many new bots for this mode. Beyond the lookout for dangerous elite training bots. Play with AI mode is available for teams to practice with 1 to 3 players. Scores and challenges are not recorded in this mode. So we can actually jump into that right away. We don't need a group. So that's kind of cool. We can just practice with AI. Might be fun to jump into. Competitive play updates. So for the competitive placements and Overwatch, or sorry, an overview will now be displayed before hero progression at the end of a competitive match. Competitive rank range has been added to the scoreboard, so players can view the rank range of a match at any time. Modifiers can now be viewed outside of the competitive overview with a rank info button found on the competitive play menu. A new modifier called demotion protection has been added to the competitive overview to notify players that if they lose another game, they will be demoted to the next lowest division. So we got a bunch of hero updates. Let's quickly go over these points here. The global projectile size modifier for travel time projectiles with a speed greater than 50 meters per second, reduced from 0.1 to 0.075 meters. So sounds like they're reverting a bunch of heroes. Like I don't know who that all applies to, because it requires them going faster than 50 meters per second. That's kind of interesting. Developer comments, we are decreasing the size of the faster travel time projectiles because it reduces the frequency of these projectiles failing to headshot due to hitting the enemy's chest hit volume first. So it's actually harder to headshot because the projectile was bigger. That's interesting. Roll passives update. Heal reduction applied by the damage roll passive lowered from 20 to 15%. This might feel really good to tanks. I'm looking forward to this. It's been pretty awful to like stand out in the open trying to take space and just get murdered by their damage and not being able to be healed up. So hopefully that helps. Let's quickly go through some of the changes here for the The characters, we got Doomfist. The minimum damage for his meteor strike is now increased from 15 to 50. That's a big jump. So I imagine Doom's going to be even better than he was just from that single change. That's actually a big jump. There's been quite a few times where I used his ult and it just didn't finish off the heroes around me. Anyways, moving on to Malga, we got developer comments. We are changing cardiac overdrive to make it more forgiving when used for yourself, especially when Malga is low health. So we got the stomp damage is increased from 45 to 60, and we got cardiac overdrive. That's just for his overrun, by the way. And for cardiac overdrive, we got the duration is reduced from 5 to 4, so that's a slight adjustment, maybe slight nerf. But the cooldown is reduced from 12 to 10, so you're able to use it more often, but doesn't last as long. And now fills his passive over health by 100. So overall, that does sound like a pretty decent buff to his survivability. Terra Surge, so Orissa's ult is getting changed here. We got charge rate for the first 2.5 seconds increased by 25%. Sounds like a very nice buff to Orissa's ult. That's actually kind of terrifying. Ramatra, we got total damage. This is his Ravenous Vortex, by the way. Total damage is increased from 45 to 70. That's pretty significant. There's times where I catch people with the Vortex, like it lands perfectly, and it's already doing enough damage, and it being buffed. That sounds amazing. So Ramatra actually might be even better now. Cooldown is also decreased by 1 second. Reinhardt buff. We got armor increased from 275 to 300. So he has 25 more health as armor. That's huge. Damage increased from 100 to 120 for his fire strike. So his left click is finally less damage than his fire strike. It was on par with his fire strike, and now his fire strike is actually doing more damage. So you actually want to get that back in your rotation again. I was trying to get that out of my muscle memory of increasing my DPS as Reinhardt, so really happy about that change actually. Roadhog, we got developer comments. We're improving the consistency of the hook combo. Enemies are pulled closer to Roadhog and aren't launched as high when Pigpen activates, making the scrap gun follow-ups shot more consistent. So we got a change to his chain hook. The enemy final position distance from Roadhog after being pulled decreased from 4 to 3 meters. So they are ending up closer to Roadhog, making him able to hit you with more of his bullets after he hooks you. And then we got a change to his Pigpen. Vertical knockback on activation decreased by 43%. So I wonder if that means that the Pigpen's going to damage you for every single tick now. That sounds terrifying. It might be too high still. I don't know. We'll have to look into that. Maybe the Pigpen is going to just be making the target easier to hit rather than it making them like kind of bounce out of your reticle, so to speak, just making you miss sometimes. Anyways, next up we got Hanzo developer comments. We're reverting the changes to the base projectile size of Hanzo's arrows and replacing it with General global reduction, which affects all travel time projectiles with a speed greater than 50 meters per second, resulting in Hanzo's arrow projectile staying the same total size as before this patch. So they're taking Hanzo back to what he was before the patch for his projectiles. Interesting. Base projectile sizes increased from 0.075 to 1.1 meters. The total projectile size, when combined with the general hero change, is still 0.175 meters. So Hanzo mains that liked the arrow size before the patch, I guess we're back to that arrow size. And based on the developer comments earlier, maybe it'll be easier to get headshots with Hanzo now. Next up, we got Mei's endothermic blaster. So her left click, I believe, are probably just both ammo increased from 120 to 140. So yeah, that should be her left and right click. Just the ammo is increased. Cryo freeze heal per second increased from 50 to 62.5. So small buffs to Mei, trying to get her more viable, I guess. Reaper Death Blossom damage per second increased from 170 to 185. There are times where Death Blossom is too much, but then there's times where Death Blossom is just like, why is this even an ultimate? Well, at least with the current patch, the last, what am I trying to say? Before this patch, like he was just spinning around and dying kind of thing. If they're right next to him, then he does get a lot of damage in. So this buff is actually pretty big. I feel like Reaper was already really, really good, and yeah, that's going to be a pretty big buff. Ultimate cost is also decreased by 12%. So he's going to be able to ult more often and be killing even more often with his ult. We got changes to Sombra. Developer comments: virus deals critical impact damage when it hits hack targets, and this change makes using it as follow-up more compelling. The translocator now destroys breakable objects, preventing Sombra from teleporting a shorter distance than expected. Now it destroys breakable objects. Does that mean her translocator deletes Lifeweaver's pedal platform? That's what it sounds like. That sounds like a pretty good buff to Sombra, and maybe a slight nerf to Lifeweaver. Virus impact damage increased from 10 to 25. Translocator destroys breakable objects while in flight. EMP ultimate cost reduced by 8%, so she's going to be able to ult even more. Symmetra photon projectile primary fire damage per second increased from 60 to 65, scaling with each stage. The new maximum damage per second is 195. That sounds insane. So she's going to be able to melt somebody within 2 seconds. Unless it's like a Reaper or a Mei. You're just dead within 2 seconds. That's pretty crazy. At least when she's at max charge or whatever. This is... but anyways, Sentry Turret. Health increased from 30 to 50. So it sounds like we can't just melee them to instantly one-shot them anymore. I don't think I like that change. Anyways, damage per second increased from 25 to 30. So they're healthier and they're dealing more damage. The teleporter health increased from 50 to 100. Shields increased from 150 to 200. So the teleporter is beefier. That kind of makes sense because there was times where you toss it down, you're like, okay, let's go through it, and it just instantly dies. And it's like, well, we tried. uh, so that actually might make the teleporter viable, even more viable, I should say. Uh, deploy turret damage increased from, this is for Torbjorn. Turret damage is increased from 11 to 13. Ana, we got biotic grenade explosion damage and healing increased from 60 to 90. So she's getting a buff. That sounds like a survival kind of thing and burst kind of thing. So she can take down like a Tracer that's in her face or heal herself back up to near full, especially if she has her support with her. That sounds like a really nice buff to Ana. I think she needs it actually. Baptiste, we got immortality filled minimum health threshold decreased from 25% to 20. So heroes within the immortality field are not being protected from 25% capped health. They will actually drop down to 20. So if you get them down to 20 and you kill the immortality field, you have a better opportunity to kill any heroes that were standing inside that immortality field. That sounds like a very nice change. It makes it so Baptiste and their other support has to get everybody's health back up immediately. So I feel like that's going to be a nice change. I don't know. I could be wrong. That could be a little bit too big of a nerf. We'll have to see. We got repair pack cooldown reduced from 6 to 5. So you're able to throw out more healing. And we got her rally cost reduced by 8%. So she's going to be ulting more often. Ilari, we got developer comments. We are adjusting the firing cadence, if that's how you pronounce that, of the solar rifle, making it more responsive to use and increase the damage per second, but not the burst damage. So solar rifle primary fire recovery time reduced from 0.3 to 0.2 seconds. So it sounds like she's able to shoot faster. Maximum charge time reduced from 0.7 to 0.65. Charge time. That's a little bit confusing. If I'm honest, I actually don't understand that one. But anyways, let's just move on. We got Lifeweaver as our final hero being adjusted. Developer comments where you're increasing the burst potential of the heal blossom to reinforce Lifeweaver's role as a high healing throughput support. The heal per second is roughly the same as before, but individual heal blossoms can be changed further. So they are changing maximum heal amount increased from 70 to 80, and maximum charge time increased from 1 to 1.5 or 1.15 seconds. So it can be a bigger heal for 1.5 seconds longer of a charge time, if I understand that correctly. I thought they were doing even more than that to Lifeweaver, but maybe not. It's kind of strange. I'll leave the rest of this here in case you wanted to read this for yourself. But yeah, let's go ahead and jump into some games and experience some of this for ourselves. Oops, I'm just rolling my hand on the keyboard. Wait. I feel like... Oh, it is new. Okay. So this was a button over here. And they made it a big card now. So we got the co-op here for the gauntlet. We'll probably jump into that pretty soon. But let's jump into quick play first. Whoops. Forgot I'm doing... That's how that's how I'm trying to be able to see both YouTube and Twitch chat, by the way. Whoops. Talking in the team voice as well. All kinds of mistakes already. We're actually starting on damage. Interesting. Let's try out Hanzo. Let's see how this change feels. I'm assuming it's not gonna feel much different.
All I have left. Hello.
Wait, I want to use that. There we go. They added an indicator on the bottom left, so we can actually see when we're affected by the DPS passive, I believe. Yep, that's what it's showing. That's a very nice change. I love that change. It's so simple and yet it helps a ton.
My soul ignited.
We are kind of getting rolled right now. We almost got saved. We actually landed on the other side of the wall barrier.
Experience tranquility. A challenger.
Your team has taken the lead.
Now efforts yield progress.
Forward spawn.
We must take back the robot. Forged in the dragon's breath.
Oh, I'm dead. I got him so low though.
My soul ignites. Hello, brother. Come with us. Over here.
On my way.
Forward spawn.
Rip. I thought they would go back into it. I should have just threw it right at him.
Forward spawn.
Not again. Exact same scenario. I almost got saved, but I'm on the wrong